So how did we get from this situation of government gone wild to this situation? Happened today at the University of Minnesota, Central Corridor Green Line. Today's accident happened right here on the East Bank, right about here where this picture on Wikipedia is. And in this picture, you can see the culprit. It's that little circled piece of wire, and that stopped the whole system. I took that photo from inside the train and stepped out and took this movie of the situation. All the buses were stopped, as you can see. There were people stopped up for a long time. There were a number of us on this train. This picture is of the officials standing outside deciding what they were going to do to fix the train instead of letting us out. There were a number of people on this train. And as you can see, there's also quite an assembly of onlookers. They're pointing at the broken cable on the train. They're quite stunned by this. I called the police. They would not let us off the train. I called the bus company. They would not answer the phone. And finally, I just called Xcel Energy and said, hey, there's an electrical emergency on this train. Can you shut off the power? And apparently, they did shut off the power. And we were able to get off the train. Here's another shot. And you can see as I pan down the train. So on that train, you can also see the KFAI reporter kind of going back and forth reporting. She was also a passenger, and she's reporting to her news director what's happening. I believe this is a major incident that, as I told KFAI, Sandy Pappas said that the state just has never done a project this big as this so-called Central Corridor. And now, as you know, they're trying to expand it to the southwest. I would think that would be a reason for concern. I think this is growing too fast. The safety procedures in this case were simply not followed and definitely have to be improved. They were telling us, until I called and said, please turn off the power and let us out, they were telling us they're going to do the maintenance while we're in the train. They're going to repair this cable, and this really concerned a number of us. And so what we need to do, first of all, this operation is just way too long. It goes all the way from Union Depot, as you see, all the way to downtown Minneapolis. And they're rushing back and forth with much of the ride, very few riders. And there's no way that we're going to be able to pay for the overhead operating costs on this because there's not that many riders, and it's going to go to the taxpayers. I think at the very least they have to come up with a safety plan. I would like to ask the Metropolitan Council to establish and publicize a safety plan so that if this happens, if they said what happened here was the wind blew that wire off of that little cable that connects the electricity for the whole train system. And of course, trains could not continue all day, so at least for several hours the whole system would have been shut down. So, but the priority should be getting us out of there safely. So they should right away turn off the electricity and get the passengers out of there, then fix it. Now this particular driver continued to drive after it broke about a block back, apparently saying, well, it works, but then the electricity could not quite come through, especially on his third car where we were. So I don't know if you've seen this on the local news. Perhaps mine will be the only video report of the incident, but it's certainly one that needs to concern us all. I still say that we should cut this operation down to cut operating costs. If we had just trains coming from, say, Raymond Avenue down to downtown Minneapolis, and another segment from Rice Street to the lower town area of downtown St. Paul, I think those could be designed and operated in a very cost-effective way and in such a way that you could take care of it and have safety procedures in place. Otherwise, this thing is just too big and it's too out of control. I'm Steve Carlson. I'm running for Senate. I just happened to be on that train, and I think that's why the KFAI reporter was talking to me. But I really hope that you'll pay attention to this, because we've got to address this and get this under control. And I approve this message.